In today's latest news, we discuss Tammy Abraham and is Tammy potentially the answer to our striking woes in the summer window. After that, we talk Mason Mount as reports with Liverpool keep growing and keep intensifying, and of course we discuss Mason Mount's potential successor in Dominik Szoloszbai. So we have a ton of things to break down and discuss. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Share your thoughts and opinions and hit that like button. Let's get 1500 likes, of course, and that's all I need to say really, so without wasting any more time. So right now I want to start with things and let's talk Mason Mount. Now this story I'm going to discuss comes from Fabrizio Romano's YouTube channel, and he revealed that contract talks are dead now. Now that's going to surprise all of us because we were of the original belief that no, they're not dead, they've just been stalled until the summer. Who knows, Romano of course isn't going to lie, but I'm going to still hope and pray that some solutions can be found behind the scenes in terms of like, okay, can a contract agreement be found in the summer? Because in my opinion, I think losing Mason Mount would be a massive loss. And knowing the fact that he would literally be strengthening Liverpool. I mean, they're signing one of the top young midfield players. I don't even know what the hell to call Mason Mount because he's played so many different roles and positions throughout his Chelsea career. But obviously, players like that are of very big tactical importance to managers. So to think that we could be giving away someone like Mason Mount to help rebuild Jurgen Klopp's Gegenpress press. I mean, this season they're mid now because the pressing demands after 4 years on the Jurgen Klopp, they're not sustainable after a while. And if you're going to play this like, Gengen style game, if you're leaving holes behind, you're going to get picked up from the counter attack. If guys can't cover ground quickly, if they can't win their duels quickly, if they can't get those recoveries fast and counter press effectively, everything kind of falls apart. So to sign Mason Mount, he hasn't even hit his prime yet, at the perfect age where he can probably play in his best position in midfield because they've got Gakpo, they've got Nunes. Mount won't be playing on the right, Mount won't be playing on the left, he'll be playing in his best role midfield. And for me, if this happens, which there's a big possibility it could happen right now, and he has incredible success there, I'm going to be very disappointed. And I think there'll be lessons to learn because I feel like personally, I've said this quite a lot on this channel, he's paid the price for his professionalism and his versatility. A lot of managers who have come here haven't had the right resources, time, tools, whatever, to really like properly build like a particular style of football. So they've turned to guys like Mason Mount who can offer you like a solution for the short term right now because he is that good in different roles that you can rely upon him to effectively do something for the team. But in terms of guys like Mount, and I'm actually going to say Kai Havertz as well, how does that help the individual go to the next level? I look at Kai and I think he's paid the price for not having a set role over these past few seasons. Because when we signed this guy, yeah, he was signed as one of the top attacking midfield players in world football. It was massive business. To this stage, one of the highest viewed, transfer signings we've made on my YouTube channel. That's the hype Havertz had. But since then, I mean, what defined role has he really had? Right now, we're using him as like this pathetic striker, and it's shown no development really other than growing bigger and getting stronger upper bodies. And I kind of feel like that isn't solely down to the player, that's down to the football club for not having the foundations there tactically. It's not having the system there that lets these guys grow and shine. And I kind of feel like this is why we keep seeing a lot of players not ever improving when they sign for us, because I mean, if you're playing different roles and doing different things every season and there's no continuity, I mean, my God, how can anyone go to the next level? Yeah, so that is spun. This is literally a different conversation for another video, but we need to get this fixed and sorted right now, yeah, because this will bite us in the ass as it has been doing right now, and as it's presently showing because of someone like a Mason Mount, like someone who's seen as like the face of the club to some, that's like signing like the equivalent of like a Gerrard or Lampard right now. I know it's a very poor comparison, don't eat my ass up too much in the comments, yeah, but of course Liverpool are thinking, wow, this is a massive coup because this guy's going to level our system up so much, and we think that he can go to the next level because there's some undefined parts of his game that we can start to define at Liverpool. It would be mad if this happened, considering that there's so much more he can offer, and the intangibles that Mount brings. I'm sorry, people that just focus solely on results and winning, they see the game from such a myopic point of view that they just don't care about the other important aspects that also go in the game. And I think intangibles like, that affinity for a football club, that's going to make you run 5 yards extra to close an opponent down. That's going to give you a different mentality and desire, because don't forget, when these men are on the football field, they're like warriors in a sense. They're competing against each other. It don't matter if you've got the technique. If you can't beat your man in a 50-50 duel and overcome it, that means nothing. So you need to have guys like this. That's why I said in my last video, there's a reason why when Pep came to this country, he had to adapt his ideas. He signed 6-foot beasts because he can't bring tiki-taka to the Prem because it's a different physical demand. You have to adapt to this Premier League, yeah? And I think these are the intangibles that Mount brings to us. So listen, if you're going to let him go, it can't be an easy thing. And if there's a successor coming in, there has to be a perfect one, because there's not many guys that can bring what Mount does. So that's the first story out of the way. Share your thoughts and opinions, and I guess right now it segues into the next one, as we discuss the potential successor to Mason Mount in Dominik Szoloszbai. So right now, I want to talk Szoboszlai, and let's actually break down why this guy would be a very smart successor if you're planning on selling Mason Mount. Currently, RB Leipzig are playing like a 4-2-2-2 system, and Szoboszlai is playing on the right hand side here. Now, in terms of his role, he has some similarities with Mason Mount because he is effective in many different roles in different positions. So he can play the offense midfielder in a midfield 3. He scored a lot of goals doing that, you know, cutting inside, driving up the field with his right foot, and just, you know, I'll get down to this guy's shooting technique and ability later on, yeah. But he can play as an attacking mid on the left, and most importantly down the right hand side, which he's found great success with recently with RB Leipzig. So with modern day football, it's quite hard to find the right descriptive words to define these guys. You could call him like a wide 10. You could call him an inverted winger. I don't know what to call him, but this guy is very comfortable playing between the lines. And, you know, in terms of his game off the ball, he has that. That's something he said as a kid that he had to understand really early on, of course, you know, getting exposure to, you know, first team minutes from a very young age. His dad coached some incredible work ethic and discipline. I think that's why he has a tattoo to reflect his mentality, right? And, you know, he's really adapted to that part of his game really well. I mean, he gets a lot of praise from his Leipzig teammates due to his willingness to press and run off the ball. And these things are key, because you can't just have technique without hard work. It has to be combined. Now, Szoboszlai is incredibly good from dead ball situations and set pieces, but at the same time, he's one of those like attacking mids that looks to find his striker. That's what he wants. If he was here right now, I think it'd be a bit difficult because we don't really have a striker, but we're thinking about next season already, no? So I think Szoboszlai, you know, coming in, potentially linking up with a teammate that he's very fond of and very familiar with in Nkunku, plus other talents as well too, on that right hand side could be like a very complimentary figure in this team. One thing I think Szoboszlai can definitely improve upon, and this goes on to like one of his best strengths, which is his ball striking and his technique. Because this ball striking also translates in regards to like his passing ability over short distances, medium distances and long ones. He used to practice doing like 200 free kicks a day with his dads, like every single day. And he really says that if it wasn't for this particular training, I don't think I'd be here at this level right now. And I think this is just like exceptional coaching from his dad, because of course, you know, you can apply the ball striking to like, you know, his long shots and free kicks, etc, etc. But when you have a good understanding of the weight you need to hit balls with, that can transfer to how you pass the ball, how you move the ball between the lines, so you can split defenses open. That is what Szoboszlai can also do. He is not limited in those regards. I kind of feel like with the ability this guy has, and he's only young, 22 years old, but he could get you more goals because he does have super technique. I mean, you've seen a few examples of the goals he scored. These aren't just typical goals. These show like a super understanding of how to hit the ball, and it displays great technique. He can produce this even more, but of course he's still growing. He'll improve over time, but it's nice to know that the influence he has creatively on the right hand side, I could see that working here. But at the same time, man, you know, you look at these types of players, right? I guess these modern day players have to be multifaceted because coaches could use them in any way. I mean, Szoboszlai's played on the left, on the midfield 3, on the right, he's played everywhere. So I can't sit here and tell you guys he'll be used in this defined role, because most of our players haven't been using defined roles. So that doesn't really matter, because the guy's ability, his work ethic, his potential, I've already, like, when I first heard about him when he was 17, I was like, wow, this kid is special. And for me, I think he'd be one of like the leading attacking mids of his generation for sure. So let's see what happens with the story. We're going to get some big answers from next week in regards to many guys, not only at this club, but in terms of successes as well too. So right now, let's end things by discussing Tammy Abraham. And this report comes from The Athletic, and reports keep intensifying around the fact that we could be strongly looking at bringing Tammy Abraham back to Chelsea Football Club. Now, I'm going to really recommend that you guys watch my previous video on Tammy, because I went through his stats and what he does, and obviously his goal scoring this season hasn't been great, but that's not solely due to Tammy Abraham. Roma this season in general as a team, I think they've been found out a little bit more. I think that's what tends to happen with Mourinho after the first season. The second season, his ideas get clocked a bit more. And in terms of offensive output, Roma as a whole team are actually less than what they were the previous season. But for me, I think the important question is, as I posed in the last video, we have to keep things real. We don't even play a style of football that can guarantee any striker is going to be scoring 25 to 30 goals a season. That's not going to happen. I think the most important thing now is signing a tactical fit to get the best out of the other attacking mids coming from next season. If we keep João Felix, we got Mudryk and Kunku coming in, even Szoboszlai being a possibility too. You need to have that presence up front for these guys to play off with. That's the most important thing, because I think as we saw in the 1-0 win against Leeds, we do a lot of things good. But in terms of scoring and attacking, we've not been doing that good for a few years now. And for me, it's due to the fact that we don't have complementary figures playing together. You can't have Kai Havertz when he wants to kind of roam, and you're having João Felix there too, does the same thing. No one occupies his position, and they kind of feel like, what's the point, because I can't do anything with aerial balls or crosses inside the box. So that's why they leave their position. If there was a focal presence to give these guys a bit more confidence, you'll see different types of passes made. You'll see different types of runs made. This is how the team improves. This is how it works, yeah? For me, we need to understand what makes strikers score, because as I've always said, strikers complement how you play. So of course, last season, very counter-attacking football, Tammy Abraham was outstanding. This season, the counter-attack's been limited a bit more at Roma, right? And for me, strikers tend to score more goals. The average striker scores more goals if he's in great form, and if he has that sixth sense understanding with his teammates. That's how it works. It has to be in tandem. If those factors don't work, naturally a striker's confidence will fall and drop, because he's not getting consistent supplies he normally got before. So now he's going to start overthinking things, and I kind of feel like this is the only explanation I have personally for why so many different strikers at Chelsea Football Club have struggled over the years. Because they were scoring goals elsewhere, they signed for us, and we don't give them the minerals that they've literally feeding off from the seasons before. And for me, this is where you go back to Tammy Abraham, because realistically, yes, we have that 70 million buyback fee. Roma won't be asking for that. That's going to come down a lot more, and you're thinking you could sign for maybe 40 million. And if he's someone that improves players around him, because he's the support striker, yeah? He can make the runs, he can run in behind, he can hold off defenders, he can win aerials, he can play those knockdown headers, right, to guys who are running in behind. Those important tangibles, they also matter. Too often as fans, we only think about what these guys do, balls to feet every single time, as if that's the only way to judge players. No, how do they make their team play? Do they improve things? That's important. And I think Tammy Abraham right now would be a very interesting buy, because I feel like his goal return is solid. Who knows if it goes to the next level? I've always thought personally that Tammy would be like a late developer. Right now, his profile could be what a lot of attacking mids and wingers at this club actually needs. And when you consider the fact that there aren't many profiles like this in Europe, and the ones that are, like Osimhen, cost an absolute fortune, and realistically, you might not be getting them, you need to start thinking outside the box in terms of what does this team need. We have to put team first now over individuals. I think this season we have had all the individuals. It hasn't really been a team, and that's why we're right in the middle of the table. I think Tammy Abraham has grown as a man. I mean, congrats to him, of course. Him and his long-term girlfriend since they were teenagers have announced their first newborn. And I think that this spell at Rome, has made him grow. The intangibles are also important. He's grown more as a man. The mentality, the attitude. Working on Mourinho as well is going to boost your attitude and mentality. And Mourinho himself has said, there were times where I've been doubting Tammy, but then I'm playing him the next week and his involvement and what he's doing for the team. You know, how he's knocking down passes for Dybala to score and the impact he's having. This is why I keep standing by him. And I kind of think that if Tammy came back now, he would be a very interesting and smart buy to make that could offer a lot more important intangibles to this team that this team actually needs. So you guys on that note, I'm going to wrap things up, keep things moving. Thank you for watching. I'm Nini FC, this is BlueLionsTV. I'll catch you guys later with some more videos. Cool.